Welcome back. Welcome to our kitchen. And this is the lovely Haley making her first official appearance on the channel. And we want to show you some of our everyday pantry rotation ideas. This is kind of the part 2 to the food is fuel video on how we keep our family fed and our pantry stocked and try to still have some in reserve. All right, take it over.
All right, so we're gonna go into our pantry here. It's never clean, so warning on that. And the children are upstairs bouncing around, so you'll probably hear a lot of thumping. All right, so you can see there's lots of drinks in here, but this is our stockpile. We actually call it a rotating pantry because, yeah, we have a lot of food, but we do have 7 people that we are feeding. So we go through all of this very, very quickly. Another little caveat is I am on a gluten-free, dairy-free diet. So I have some specialty things in here that only I eat, not everybody eats. But I'm going to turn the camera around and show you what we got. All right, so we'll start at the bottom and work our way up. We've got some juice down here. We've got salmon and whey protein powder. That's kind of Josiah's bin, where he kind of has some things that nobody else really wants, so he eats all of that. We've got our olive oil. We've got kind of fresh produce. We got some onions up.
You know, not everybody like onions.
They're sprouting. Is this a radish or a turnip?
Turnips. Turnips.
What?
Huh?
What about turnips?
Why did you say turnips?
Because you said turnips?
No, I didn't.
I think you did.
They've got a radish, we've got more onions, and then Food Lion had a great sale where it was $1.99 for 5 pounds of potatoes. So I went ahead and just stocked up on that. This is just some miscellaneous stuff, just some more things, but we've got some riced broccoli, some brown rice, some hot chocolate bombs for the kids and different things. Over here is some of our long-term storage, but we had to open it because we just didn't realize how much we go through it. So this is our oats. We go through oats. We have oatmeal or any type of oat something at least 2 or 3 times a week. So we go through this quite a bit. And then I don't know if you can see this. We had labeled this one. This is black beans, and this is the date that we kind of stored it. This tub right here, this is our rice tub because we go through so much rice. I buy 20-pound bags of rice and then I just dump them in here. This has a twist off top, and we again probably use that 2 to 3 times a week. So then if we go up, have some coconut milk. That's for me for some different cooking things. We've got mashed potatoes, instant. They had a really good sale on those, so that's why I got those. This is our soup container. It's all kind of labeled. My kids put some black beans in here, but the soup again was on sale, or we would have gotten the off-brand. This is our canned fruit. This is beans, vegetables. This one is peanut butter. And this is also peanut butter. We get like the natural peanut butter, so it gets kind of runny. So once we open one, we stand it up. This is my bin of my specialty food that only I go in. And then over here, we have like really sugary cereal. Then we have like Cheerios. We have regular oats, like I just showed you, for easier access. But then we also here have like the instant, like 1 minute, 5 minute, whatever it is, oats. We got breadcrumbs back there. Some of these instant things in a bowl. I do a lot of couponing, so we got those for free or for really, really cheap. We have popcorn, more popcorn. This is a soup mix that I'm almost done with. This is my specialty creamer. And then all these hoist drinks that you see are Josiah's. Now, we didn't just buy these just because we like them. They were 3 for $5, and I had a cash back rebate where I got $2 back. So I made them $1 per drink, which is really good. But our Food Lion is actually closing these out. So they've been on discount for like $2, $1, and I still have the rebate. So we've been getting them for, cents by the bottle, which has been great. More popcorn. Again, I got that with a rebate. Just some different things here. We've got some rice wine vinegar, and then I can a lot. So we have some grapes. What kind of grapes are they?
Bullus and muscadine.
Bullus and muscadine grapes. And so all of this is cans from canning. Then we also had some pears. Were they pears?
Yeah.
So we had some pears as well. So this is pear jelly. So that's what all this is. This is my noodle box. It's got mac and cheese, and then we got some other noodles over here. These are my noodles. And then we have some syrup. I have some of it in the fridge. This is just extra. All right, up here we've got like granola and things like that. This is our breakfast box. We've got pancake mix and a million Pop-Tarts. Again, I got those on sale for $1 a box. Up here, then we have our peanut butter powder, which I use in oatmeal. Anytime I make oatmeal for the kids for extra protein. We've got grits. And then this is our chip box. So we have veggie straws, tortilla chips, and then these are different cake mixes. Again, I got on sale and I had a rebate for, so I got some of those. Behind that is a marshmallow box. This is our nut container. So any type of nut that we have, we put in here. And then this is kind of my overflow of, I don't really know where it goes, but I know we're gonna go through it soon. So I just kind of put it in here, like pickles.
I love pickles.
Tomato sauce, extra dressing, tortillas. Up here we have Lara bars. We have, this is kind of a mixed box, but it's supposed to be broth, like chicken broth, beef broth. And then way up there we have extra cereal that we got on sale. And then we have some, what is that called? Hot chocolate that we got on sale. All this stuff we got on sale. This is our salt. That's our stockpile salt that I just keep up there. We have extra protein bars, extra granola bars. We have our quinoa, our protein powder, collagen powder. And then behind the protein powder, we have some barbecue sauce. And it's not supposed to be in the fridge, so don't worry about that. We have oyster crackers I got for 99 cents a bag, which is really good. We have our jerky sticks, and any of these prepackaged things we only use when we go out of the house. So if the kids have gymnastics or Boy Scouts or something, they can take one of those with them. And then we have some pepperonis that I got on sale for 99 cents. So that in here is pretty much our entire stockpile. Now in here, we have a very large kitchen and we had some extra storage. So I put some of our extra things in here that I'm gonna use, but I don't use frequently, like every day. So we have like bread, flour. These are my special tortilla chips. We have cocoa powder. This is some canned venison that Josiah canned a while ago. And then he does beetroot powder.
Fact. Bears eat beets.
And all these crazy concoctions. So this is kind of where he stores all of that. We reuse this container. I have some vinegar, just white vinegar down in here. We have some extra coffee and extra beans, extra bags, Ziploc bags. And then I believe we have like canned tuna and canned chicken down there as well. Okay, we're gonna go into our long-term storage here. This is our garage, and this pantry or closet or whatever you want to call it out here. And hopefully George, our spider lizard who is living out here in the garage, will not attack me. Okay, so I'll try to be real quick. We've got cornbread, got crackers, more pancake mix, protein powder. A lot of this stuff you guys have already seen. We've got, here are the taco kits. I've been looking for those. We've got taco kits. We got peanuts, and I need to take some of those inside. We got tons of tomatoes, diced tomatoes. I make tons of chili, especially during the winter time, because it's cheap.
Intro chilies. It's a recipe passed down from Malone's for generations.
And it's easy to fill everyone up. More mac and cheese. We've got noodles, crackers, canned chicken. These are all Ziploc bags. And then this is some more of our long-term storage that I need to rotate because we've had it in here a while and it needs to be used. We got some honey mustard because that's everyone's favorite. Then down here, it was organized, but you know, children. We got beans, we got peaches and pears, diced tomato with chilies, coconut milk, some more peaches and more beans. We got applesauce, we got sugar, cocoa powder, oil, rice, pickles, tomato sauce, coconut oil. I think there's some vinegar back there. And then over here, well, I can't really get to it, but I'll try to show it to you. We got chips, we've got baked beans and tomato sauce. We've got more beans, but this is more like green beans and corn and chicken. And then down there, we've got baked beans and canned carrots and canned corn. So this is our stockpile. Now up here in these white buckets, we have, I think one of them is rice and one of them is coffee. And I'm about to get the coffee one down because we just ran out of coffee. So we're gonna use that one and then I'm gonna replenish and buy a new one to put in our stockpile.
All right, I just want to wrap this video up with a couple more thoughts on food is fuel, especially thinking of a long-term survival situation. So one thing, and Haley may have referenced this, but we have invested in some dehydrated long-term storage. These are scrambled eggs. They have a shelf life of 10 years. So this is something we can kind of put back in a different location and don't have to think about, don't have to worry about for about 10 years. Then we'll get these out and, you know, work them into our diet and maybe replace these. And along these lines, I do want to challenge you to think where you're going to store your food stores, and don't put it all in one place. You know, you've seen a little bit into our pantries and our stockpile, but you have not seen everything. And that's intentional. And part of that also is we have it in different places in case there's, you know, water damage or a fire or something like that, so that our stuff is, at least some of it is accessible. Two other ideas, and these are both areas that I am not proficient at. They're kind of combined here, but seeds for planting. Now, I don't have the time in my everyday life to grow a garden. That's just a fact of life. Now, if the survival situation happens, a garden is going to be vital for survival. And so we have a seed pack here, Heirloom Harvest Starter Kit. There's 18,000 seeds in here. And it's, of course, vacuum sealed and will last for a good long time in storage. Seeds can last for centuries, you know. So this is a no-brainer. If you're starting a long-term survival stockpile, get some seeds. I think we got these on Amazon. There's all kinds of different companies that make them, but this is definitely something. Now, of course, you got to keep in mind that it takes weeks for these to grow and mature into usable plants, and then of course you got to make sure you take the seeds out, dry them, and save them for the next season. Definitely worth having. And if the grid were to go down, one of my first steps is to go ahead and start plowing up the yard, you know, and start planting some seeds and start growing towards that long-term survival. But also in that same vein, these are seeds for what's called sprouts. Now, this is something I'm new to, but there's a lot of preppers and YouTubers that do this, and a lot of businesses that have kind of sprouted up over the last couple months and years over this, because these sprouts, some of the same seeds that are in that other packet, but these are intended to be grown quickly, and you actually eat the seedling, the sprout. And the cool thing, I don't know if you can see on here, but it shows you can grow these in a mason jar, and you can do that on your counter. You can do it with indoor lighting, you can do it outdoors, you can do it with like a cookie sheet tray with a thin layer of dirt. I think you can even grow some of these in like wet cardboard, You know, as long as you've got that moisture, the seeds will germinate. So the cool thing also with these is these grow quickly. In just a couple days, they're ready to harvest that little sprout or some clippings off that sprout and eat it for some good nutrients and vitamins. So this is definitely something to look into, and these might become videos all unto themselves down the road. Now, in closing, I want to bring up some topics I've referred to in other videos, and that is kind of the philosophy of that long-term survival. You know, I've struggled making this video for a while. I know many of my loyal viewers are people that know me, and I've even had some of you say to me, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing necessarily, but you said, you know, if the grid ever goes down, we're coming to your house. I appreciate that as a compliment, but I do want to encourage you. The whole reason I'm making this video series is to encourage you to be responsible for yourself and for your families, and to start taking care. Now, the food preps that I have prepared are for me and for my family. Now, if someone were to come to me, especially someone that I know and I trust in a survival situation, of course, I'm going to do my best to take care of them. But it's going to be not just a hand out, it's going to hopefully be a hand up. You're going to be a part of the survival, you know, and if you don't work and become a part of the surviving community, then you don't eat, you know, and that's even biblical, that idea. And I do want to share two things. First off, I do have a food prep set aside. This is an MRE, a military meal. This is, you know, a couple thousand calories in one nice little package here. And I have a couple boxes of these where if in that grid down situation, I can hand these to folks as kind of a small handout. But this is kind of a peace offering. You know, this is, here's your meal, good luck, head on out. You know, this would sustain someone for a couple days perhaps if they had to stretch it. You know, it's nice and compact. I could toss it to somebody if I had to, depending on the situation. You know, a couple weeks into a grid down situation, people are going to be starving. People are going to be unstable. Honestly, they're probably not going to be very mobile, especially those with health conditions, and that is the sad reality of it. But there will be some who are going to be violent pirating. You know, I've already addressed that in some other videos. And I'll just quickly flash this. You know, this is how I'm going to be protecting my family and my food stores, which is my family's survival. Would encourage you to take that into consideration. You know, it depends on your environment, where you're at. You know, maybe as you start a stockpile of food, set aside some food that you're not depending on to eat. You know, if in a pinch my family needed to dive into our supply of these, we absolutely could. But because especially these have such a long shelf life, these will probably be the last things that my family and I eat, and therefore they are available for us to kind of pass out as a humanitarian aid kind of thing. So some things to think about. Think about them now, as difficult as they are. You have a plan. That's what all this is all about. Go ahead and start thinking and planning. You know, I know that I have many neighbors around our house. Some of them are more elderly and retired, and some of them, I'm sure, probably have a good stockpile and, you know, are prepared for a hurricane or something like that, and that's wonderful. But as I prepare, I'm preparing to take care of myself, my family, all right, and then my neighbors, and then hopefully, you know, the greater community. And you've got to start thinking in that way. Not trying to get on a soapbox here, but we've been kind of trained over the last couple decades to think in a global sense. We got to start thinking about, you know, that personal responsibility first and foremost, and responsibility for your sphere of influence. And then, you know, can you have responsibility for others in that way. One other little tip, if you're thinking, you know, where can I create a stockpile? I don't have a lot of money to invest in this. You know, challenge yourself every time you go to the grocery store. You know, buy maybe a number 10 can of green beans or something, you know, canned food aisle. Start with canned food and rice. That's a great place to start. And set aside a place in your house, maybe under a guest bed, where you have some spare space. And make that a pile that you don't touch, and you know that the food will last for 5-10 years at the most, and that, you know, down the road you can start working back into your everyday diet and cycle that food out. So consider that. Last thing, and this is inspired by a Gary Larson Far Side comic, and it's a picture of a husband and wife, and they're in a nuclear bomb shelter, and the wife is kind of shaking her fist at her husband and says, "I told you, Harold, you needed to put a can opener in the storm shelter." And you see nuclear bomb clouds going off, and they're surrounded by canned food with no tools. And I'm actually sitting on this little bucket here. It has a lid, and inside are can openers and other tools like that. Trying to think outside the kitchen. Yes, we've got most of this stuff already in the kitchen, but if we had to grab our supplies, get out of the house, you know, heaven forbid we had a fire or something like that, at least we're able to access our canned food. There's seasoning in here. You know, who wants to eat bland rice? I mean, if you're hungry enough, you might, but hey, there's some salt and some seasoning packets. Really start thinking through it. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to reach out via email. I'll have the email in the description down below. Make sure you click subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.